Chapter 5: Owning Your Fight. For some people, their fight is animal cruelty. When they hear about a poor little puppy who was abused by his or her owner, it fires them up and makes them want to cry at the same time. For others, it is seeing women whose voices are suppressed and are not empowered by their husbands. Homeless children, racial discrimination, malpractice by physicians, dirty cops who abuse their power and fail to serve and protect. There are an infinite number of causes on which to take a stand. But then there are ones that we are created to fight for. I believe I have been called to one particular fight at this stage in my life. I believe as coaches, we need to take this fight more seriously, bring new firearms, more ammo, and a lot of heart. What am I willing to die for? It took a while after that experience at the 9-year-old recreational soccer game for me to understand the state of our youth. What is happening truly does break my heart. Stories of abusive, negligent coaches, parents who live vicariously through their children, and on a different note, coaches and parents who would love to make a bigger impact but just aren't sure how. This is what parts 3 and 4 of this book are going to help with. I find it troubling that many kids are no longer playing sports for enjoyment, but instead to impress people and maintain their status. They are playing and striving for greatness to please and impress their parents, coaches, and teammates. Just last summer, I personally spoke with 4 collegiate athletes who admitted that they were only staying on the team because they didn't want to lose their friends and become lonely at college. The outcome has superseded the journey. Another youth truth based on the evidence of our actions is that the idea of progress over outcome really doesn't mean much anymore. The idea of growing, trying, failing, learning, and becoming the best you can be based on what you've been given is no longer the most important thing. How do I know this? It is obvious and self-evident. What gets recognized and rewarded determines what is most important. We need to recognize our own human flaws. If you and I are honest, we can barely stand to see our kids fail. Most of us fear failure so greatly that it keeps us from taking the risks along the way that we have to take if we ever want to have a chance at being wildly successful. And guess what? That means necessary failures along the way. It means mistakes, lots of them. But if we fear failure to the point of paralysis in our own lives, our kids will never rise up about fear either. This is the law of the lid. The people you lead will never exceed your level of growth in a given area, which in this case is fear. My suggestion? Start with yourself, but then start rewarding and recognizing your kids for trying even if they failed. Honor them for attempting something on the field that they were not quite ready for, even if it cost the team the game. Stop celebrating the kid who scored 3 goals again, mainly because he went through puberty 2 years before anyone else. Have a long-term vision for your athletes and your team. Teach them through what you recognize and reward that you really do value process over the outcome. And they should too. If you want high-performing, heart-centered, courageous young men and women, this needs to be your mindset.